And welcome into the Thursday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Hope everybody's off to a wonderful start here on this Thursday morning. Joe Rexrode, how we doing? What's going on?
Doing great. Just can't wait to have my heart ripped out today and remember again why being a Detroit Tigers fan is so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be tight today. Bats did not get going yesterday the way they needed to.
I mean, they left like 1,000 people on base. They're 1 for 15 with runners on base. It's
due?
Comical. Yeah, sure.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, sure. They're due. Yeah. I mean, I'm a terrible fan, but I don't care.
Well, I mean, look, in fairness, if there's ever like a month or a series of play leading into the postseason that rips and removes all confidence from you, it was probably the one you just experienced with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I've got data to back up my ridiculous pessimism.
I mean, it's kind of all-time stuff that they put on display before the season or before the postseason started.
It was. So I just can't. I can't do Tigers lose, Yankees win today, even if I can get, I mean, I guess if the Tigers lose, whatever, I don't really care that much. But then if you throw that on and then I have to hear from Karski, that much worse.
Could be one of those episodes that really launch a long fuse later tonight if you get a certain text message from a certain person.
Yeah, I might just go to bed.
It's like, wow, Joe's asleep at 7 o'clock. It's amazing.
Might have to.
Ian Safar, how are we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. Doing great. 3 of the 4 wild cards making it to the third game here.
Yeah.
So that's good, I guess, for baseball.
Yeah.
Trying to get that wild card, people caring about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Port's beloved Cincinnati Reds.
Not
getting it done.
0 fight.
Yeah. Not getting it done.
That was not. Dodgers. Yep. But all the others. And then tonight's Thursday night game, I suppose, huh? Some injury issues for San Francisco, I was hearing. No Purdy, no wide receivers. I think
none.
Pearson.
That's a tough game.
No one to throw the ball to.
I think Pearsall and Jennings, I heard, are both out.
They need to draft Caden Proctor real fast and put him in the slot. That's tough.
I watched that replay of Caden Proctor catching that pass about 6 times. I was like, I'm not tackling that dude. You just get out of the way. You go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like the whole freak thing and why some people think he'd be the number 1 pick. Now you still have to be like really good as a tackle, and sometimes he's a little up and down. But my gosh, that's absurd.
But yeah, pretty good Thursday night game. Niners, Rams. Niners are banged up, so we'll see how that looks tonight. Rams are an 8.5-point favorite.
Well, I was going to say
that kind of shows you.
Yeah, with that stuff, it's because that could be a great game, but maybe it won't be, right? But hey, Mac Jones. Figure it out. Throw 15 targets at Christian McCaffrey and let's see what you can do.
Well, and then on the other side, as somebody who has Puka Nacua in one of my leagues.
Me too.
They've played 4 games. He's got 42 catches, 503 yards, and touchdown already. He's already got 500 yards received.
I think I have him in our league, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's absolutely carrying me.
Yeah.
Guy is unbelievable. If he can stay healthy, I mean, he's going to have, well, I guess a Cooper Kupp kind of year, right? Like that year that Cooper Kupp had. Like he's
on pace for over 170 catches right now. Like it's insane.
Like he's always open.
42 catches, 503 yards, 1 touchdown. 12 yards a catch for Puka Nacua.
Just the 1 touchdown.
I know that's the surprising part.
The points are so big, I don't even notice that. But just imagine if he starts scoring touchdowns.
I know. It's like as much as he's caught the ball, you think he didn't score a touchdown until last week against the Colts.
And then he had that rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he rushed a touchdown against the Titans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
right. That's right.
But
yeah.
that then, yeah.
But that's fine.
Only
that counts.
2. Yeah.
It counts in fantasy.
Yeah,
It does.
It does.
It does. Congratulations to Nashville SC last night, who wins the U.S. Open Cup. They go and take down Austin. And has Sam Surridge scored about 1 billion goals this year? I mean, my goodness. He's scoring every game they play for the most part. But they go and they win the U.S. Open Cup, the first trophy in Nashville SC history. And, everybody else is screaming about the professional sports stuff right now. I feel like I shouldn't
say it.
Well,
say
today, I've already said it before. but I feel like today shouldn't be the day that I start tearing it down. So I'm not going to.
Well, I'm saying, what are people saying?
Oh, they're saying, and Nashville SC tweeted this last night, this is the first professional sports championship in Tennessee history. That's what they're saying. And now Vingan's into it, apparently, with all the soccer folk.
I mean, okay. I'm talking to the hardcore Nashville SC fan right now. Okay.
See, I wasn't going to do this, but now you are.
That's fine. I mean, I have no problem doing it. I mean, you can't look. I think I would go along with winning the MLS championship. I would go along with that claim. Is it the same level of NFL or NHL? No, but I think I'd go along with it. It is the best soccer league we have in this country.
That is true.
So we've talked about how all our other pro leagues, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, are the best pro leagues in the world. Our soccer league is not, but I still would buy it. But for this, you can't say that, guys. You can't say. You can't be serious.
It's just
surely you can't be serious.
Yeah, thanks. It's just to me, it's an apples to oranges comparison, right? Because this is, it's a championship. It's also a tournament in the middle of a season. That's not there's nothing comparable in the NHL, right? Or there's nothing
in NBA there is now.
Greg, good stuff for the NBA. Nicely done. I mean, like the NFL, you're not winning, this random tournament in the middle of the year. So it's already just difficult to compare the two.
And I've heard the other side, which is actually some of these things are the competition is better than and that's so I hear that. I do. And yet your league is your championship. In my
I would agree.
And again, maybe that's just me not being able to wrap my head around soccer culture.
Well, bottom line,
that's how I feel.
I'm glad somebody around here is winning. My goodness.
That's right. That's right.
So congratulations, Nashville SC, because there's been enough losing going on around here that if somebody can win, I'm all for it. All for it, baby.
Yeah, and look, Nashville SC has been largely very successful, and then they had a dip and the coaching change and everything, and they are. Look at how quickly they got back.
Yeah.
To being highly competitive, and you got a couple players who are must-watch play. Well, more than a couple players who are must-watch players on that squad. So absolutely, all credit and congratulations to them, no question.
Abel says, hardcore Nashville SC fan here, and I could care less about this major championship. Rather win the actual MLS Cup. It's from Abel on the YouTube chat.
Okay. That's interesting because I've heard a different opinion. I guess I'd be interested to hear what others have to say about that. It doesn't mean you shouldn't celebrate this or that this isn't cool.
Yeah.
But in traditional American sports brain, that's how I would think too, Yeah. The league that I'm in is what matters the most.
Yeah, I would agree. And look, now go win that.
Yeah.
You got a shot to go win that. So, rattle them both off. That'd be awesome this year. Like I said, we spend so much time around here talking about bad professional sports. Hockey starts next week. By the way, we'll have Alex Doherty on from the Tennessean to discuss the Predators later in the show. But, they kick off a week from today with their season, and we know how bad they were last year. So hopefully they're better this year. We know the Titans are a freaking lost cause at this point. So anybody that wants to do any winning around here, I'm cool with it, baby. Let's win. So congratulations to Nashville SC on the U.S. Open Cup Championship. Ian, I know you're a big Nashville SC guy. Did you get excited last night?
You know what? Not really. No. I have watched a lot, if not most, of Nashville SC games since they pretty much started.
Yep.
Even, but no, I didn't really care too much about the U.S. Open Cup. I'll be honest with you. It's cool. I'm glad they played well.
Yeah.
And Surge and Mukhtar showed up and scored in a big game. You like to see those guys show out. The backup goalie apparently played very well in this tournament, going 5-0. He saved a penalty last night, so that was also good to see. Just on the road is never easy in general.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It was on the road. It was not like a neutral site game or anything like that, so that was good. But yeah, they've had a great season.
They really have.
They look good. They're fun to watch. They're up tempo. They score more than they were, earlier in their tenure. It was old school Preds.
There's a lot of 0-0.
Yeah.
Well, the coaching change,
clean sheets.
Yeah.
The coaching change has clearly worked. Like that
For
Brian
sure.
Callahan doing a great job.
Yep.
Doing a great job around here.
So yeah. So it's been a fun season in general to watch.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they can carry this momentum into the actual MLS playoffs and make a run there. That would be fun. So
no doubt.
Especially with the Titans doing so poorly.
Well, and again, like it's the winning and it's also the way you play, like the entertaining style, the offensive style. And that's what they wanted when they made the coaching change from Gary Smith to BJ Callahan. That's what they were looking for. And they got it. So that combination, I think, is a really good thing. Obviously the winning is the most important thing, but when you're pretty entertaining while you're doing it and you're putting up some goals, and like I said, Sam Surge feels like he scores every time they play. Like it's pretty good. That's a pretty good combo there.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different than other things.
Yes, it is.
Which one of these kids is doing his own thing?
Yes, it is. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We'll take your thoughts on Nashville SC winning the U.S. Open Cup. Some comments yesterday from the Titans locker room in reaction to what Cam Ward had to say after the game the other day. We'll get into all that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I'm still locked out, so Rexrode's in charge of the text line today. So we'll keep that going as long as possible.
Man. Just a lot of pressure. I think you like being locked out.
I think I kind of do. Kind of like it.
I'm going to start just making stuff up. Rexrode, amazing point again.
It's unbelievable the show Rexrode's having today.
I told my class today there's a really, really smart guy on radio you should listen to.
Big point after big point after big point for Rexrode.
God, how good looking can a radio host get? We watch you on YouTube and our big screen.
We zoom in.
Yeah. Please don't.
By the way, we'll have the best and worst things in sports coming up later this hour at 6:45. So make sure you send in your best things and your worst things on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So, Joe, the we ask comments from Cam Ward continue to make the rounds around the NFL. So that basically anything I've seen that's been talking about the Titans over the last couple of days has been some combination of that and then spinning off that into Cam Ward and are the Titans ruining him, basically, which is what I've seen around the country over the last couple of days. There's a whole lot of conversation in the Titans locker room as well yesterday about the comments that Cam Ward had. Brian Callahan brought it up. Jeffrey Simmons brought it up and essentially said that, he'll leave the actual conversation between he and Cam Ward, but he had some advice for him on the ways to handle the media after the game. So it kind of sounds like, and Callahan alluded to this too, of, well, you just got to be kind of mindful of what you say if you're the franchise quarterback out there. And I'm like, I'm kind of on Cam Ward's side on all this. I'm not saying he's got to go out there and just trash his teammates all the time, which, by the way, is not what he was doing after the game on Sunday. But, it really wasn't that big of a deal, I didn't think, on Sunday after the game.
No. It was interesting. Simmons, the Simmons comments were fine. It doesn't bother me, but it did seem, and Callahan's comments too yesterday seemed a little bit like basically, well, young guy kind of learning a lesson there. It's like, well, look,
we're all learning a lesson watching this team.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned and avoided in life from watching this team. But I guess if you think about it in terms of what we do, because let's face it, we are having a lot of fun with
Yes, we are.
Ass.
Yes, we are.
Then I suppose. Do you have, by the way, my sound clip that I sent you? Because I do. This was from a movie that I saw in the theater when I was like 7 years old. Let's hear this, because this is what I say.
Heaven forbid you just tell him no, you ass.
That's U.S., not U.S.
You ass. That's from The Toy, by the way, and that was Jackie Gleason. And so I say, if the Titans, if you want to try to make Cam feel bad and stuff like that, you ass. That is what I say back to you. Okay. Can you play that one more time? That's just amazing.
You had a lot of fun.
Heaven forbid you just tell him no, you ass.
That's U.S., not U.S.
Jackie Gleason, absolutely. And that was Richard Pryor, by the way. Any other fans of The Toy? Let me know.
Yeah, please hit us up.
Yeah, but I don't know. Look, I guess this goes back to talking about D-Mace yesterday. He had the same kind of reaction, which is maybe you could say things a little differently. So I get that in a sense, but I also, to me, if you really want to get serious about we ass, which is hard to do, it's pretty funny still. If you want to get serious, to me, it's a guy being very direct and honest. And again, there is context around it. he talked about a lot of different things, including blaming himself.
Yeah.
And he talked about how they need to figure it out. Yes, what we do, taking a couple words, and T-shirts are being printed. So I understand there's a little bit
I'm being tagged on Instagram by people that are making these shirts.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, they're going to sell.
Oh, yeah.
So from that perspective, but I thought Cam yesterday it was just no, whatever. Just move forward, man. I said what I said. And so I can't control what other people do, what fans do, what media do. Okay. And I feel like he gets that. And so everybody else, I just wouldn't worry too much about it either. Move forward, man.
And by the way, if you want to change, like if you're Callahan and Simmons and all these people, and look, Simmons has done just about as much as you can expect from him through the first 4 weeks, but there's a way to change this. Play a little better, you know?
Right.
Like if everybody starts to play a little better, then you're probably not worried about some of these comments after the game.
Yes. Now, the J-Rob thing
Oh,
yesterday. Woo, baby. J-Rob. I mean, the guy who has not said a peep. Now, he went on with Chase and Big Joe. That was a nice interview.
Yeah.
And he's been out there a little bit more with media, and he's, I think he's ready to maybe kind of get into the game one way or the other. But I could not believe that he did that.
Well,
for anybody who
those
doesn't
who
know.
missed it, so apparently John Robinson put this on Instagram yesterday. He was wishing a happy 46th birthday to my best friend of 26 years. Love you, babe. And I guess it's still my fault. Hashtag we ass. If you know, you know. With some laughing emoji faces from J-Rob.
So I
Did
guess
not go over well with Titans fans, by the way.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing too. First of all, I can't believe J-Rob did that because he's so careful. You know?
Are we 100% sure this is his Instagram? I mean, it looks like it.
That is I don't know, man.
I mean,
I'm out on that.
I'm about 99% sure it's him.
Yeah, I would hope we would have heard if not by now, right? But I have no clue.
I think it is.
So we'll go with the assumption it is. J. Robin, are you listening? You got my number. Let me know if it's not.
Text.
Yeah, I mean I could. It is 6:20. But yeah, we know, right?
I think so.
Okay, so we're gonna carry forward the assumption that it is. First of all, I think it's hilarious that he got into it. I suppose this sort of speaks to the Titans' point, like, boy, everybody's adopting we ass now.
Yeah.
But I must say, and I saw that Stilly was getting into it with people.
Oh yeah.
I think there are some people who like want to over blame him.
Oh no, there's no doubt.
I mean, he definitely, the last 3 draft classes were what they were. They're terrible. The trade of AJ Brown is an all-timer for the franchise.
Yeah.
There's other things that happened when John Robinson was GM.
Yeah, I
Do
think
we remember that or no?
there are some. Well, beyond that, there are some Titans fans who want to think that the reason the only reason they're as bad as they are right now is him.
Yeah, there's
It's
been a
because
lot of
J-Rob.
stuff since him.
And there has been a lot of stuff since then. Now, look, obviously, when you just whiff on 3 consecutive first-round picks from Isaiah Wilson to Treylon Burks, obviously that's a problem. That's not good. And that is a contributing factor as to why they are where they are right now. A.J. Brown trade, huge contributing factor as to why they are where they are right now. However, I mean, it's been a few years at this point. They shouldn't be the worst team in the end. Like, that's not directly translated to J-Rob. There have been other things that have happened in that midst that have contributed to that. That's all I'm saying. It's not all his fault.
Yeah, right. So he took them to the, I mean, he is, I don't think there's any question. He's the second best GM in Titans history.
Yeah.
Floyd Reese being the first, and he took them almost as far, and he had consistently excellent teams, and he was fired while in first place on their way to winning the division for a 3rd straight year. That's all stuff that he did.
Yeah.
He did all that stuff. And yes, 3 terrible first-round picks in a row, 3 bad overall drafts in a row, and then you cut it off there, and let's talk about all the missteps they've made since then. There's a whole bunch of them that have nothing to do with him. Unless you are just a bad franchise. We've talked about this before, but there is no reason ever in the NFL that you should have more than 2 bottom-of-the-barrel seasons in a row. And here comes number 3 right now. And tell me when they get out of it. And we are at each day you move further away from what J-Rob did. I mean, let's face the reality here. There are multiple things being true here, but it does seem like some Titans fans just really want to.
They want to blame it all on him.
And maybe him poking the bear there.
Yeah, that
gets
didn't help.
people ticked off. But again, be real about everything that's gone on.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm surprised he did that. I mean,
I was like,
it's hilarious,
what?
but I'm surprised he did it.
J-Rob,
It's
man.
like, wow.
Yeah, that's
just poking the bear out there. You think Amy saw it?
I would think that it would have crossed her desk by now.
John, I'm still paying you some money. Please don't be posting stuff on Instagram. Thank you.
That is true. Is there any way that this like somehow violates? Is there a lawyer looking into whether this violates the NDA? Can't make jokes at our expense. That violates it.
I mean, I guess you can't technically prove from that post that he's talking about the Titans. He never mentions the Titans in there. We all know he is. I'm just saying, from a legal standpoint, you can't prove it.
That is true. He's just saying we ass anybody or
Could be talking about anything.
It's hashtag WEASS. Wees. Maybe
Yeah,
that's maybe it's some organization.
There's a lot of things he could be talking about.
Yeah. The WEASS. What would the association would that be? I don't know. I'll come up with something. Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
615-737-1025, our phone number. An interesting piece from Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler yesterday regarding the Tennessee Titans that we will get into coming up next. The best and worst things in sports coming up at 6:45. Alex Doherty from the Tennessean, who covers the Nashville Predators, will be with us at 7 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Some national reporters discussing the Tennessee Titans. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, Dan Graziano of ESPN, did this NFL Week 5 buzz piece at ESPN, and they started off talking about the Tennessee Titans, the 0-4 start, and the potential changes that could be made either now or in the offseason. And it's an interesting back and forth here. I'll read some of this from Graziano. Quote, "It's one thing to start 0-4 with a rookie quarterback, but it's another to be as non-competitive as the Titans have been. They had a second-half lead against the Broncos, but seem to have gotten progressively worse each week since. Sunday's loss to Houston was a complete no-show. And to get shut out the week after making an offensive play calling change doesn't say much about their chances of fixing this on the fly." He goes in to talk about, how Callahan was their top choice back in 2023 when they made the hire. They brought him in, all these things. Says, quote, "I will say, from talking to people who follow these situations in the league, there's a belief that this will be a desirable job if and when it comes open. Young, promising QB, a new stadium on the horizon. Do you agree?" Fowler goes on to talk about how much he agrees there. So I guess if you're worried that the Titans have no when they fire Brian Callahan eventually, that there will be nobody that wants the job, Fowler and Graziano very confident this will be a desirable job.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird conversation. First of all, it's an NFL team. I mean, is there ever a conversation in a situation like this where it's like, no one's going to want this job? I understand there's a difference when you have
there are levels to it.
Yeah, when you have a young quarterback. But it's weird that you would talk about the desirability of a job and never mention ownership,
right? Because
ownership here has been the issue.
Yeah.
How does that not get mentioned?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, again, people are going to want the job. It's an NFL job, 32 of them.
Right.
But I don't understand how you possibly have that back and forth they had, and then you don't mention ownership.
Yeah,
because, so yeah, that job that's opening up, but when the coach doesn't even get 2 years after all the other stuff that happens, sure,
yeah.
I got no issues there.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about the Carolina owner all the time, don't we, in the league?
We do.
I mean, I think she's earned the right to be mentioned in that realm, but
totally
call
agree.
me crazy.
Now, the other thing they get into here is the role that Borgonzi and Brinker could play in all this. And it's the typical stuff of, you're working for people who didn't really hire you, with Borgonzi coming in and the new power structure and all that, talking about, Bill Callahan and the role that he's played. And Graziano kind of closes with this, says, quote, "I believe Bill wouldn't stick around if Brian got fired." So you're talking about major change in critical areas. "I might look foolish in a couple of weeks or days, who knows? But if I'm making a prediction, I lean towards the Titans giving Callahan the rest of the year before making a decision," which I thought was a very interesting nugget.
That is
Graziano.
That is very interesting to come to that conclusion. So, I think, look, we had Kaharski in here yesterday. I think there's a little bit of reading between the lines with what he said, but then you add this in, and I think the Titans are putting it out there to some extent that they're not eager to fire him. Now, again, is that ownership putting it out there? Is it the front office putting it out there? Whatever. They talk to each other, I hope. But I think that's the trying to cool down the idea that they might let him go. I'm going to now point back to when Amy Adams Strunk and the Tennessee Titans very badly wanted it public that Mike Vrabel was in no danger whatsoever. And that wasn't so that they could look stupid a month later.
Yeah.
Or because they didn't believe it at the time. It's because they wanted him to see that, and they wanted people to think that, and they wanted people to stop talking about it. And then a month later, Amy just said, "You know what? I'm firing him." So just good thing to keep in mind. Whatever they want to put out there right now, that when it still comes down to the whims of one person at times, right? But I do think that's interesting. And look, if you're the front office, we've talked some about this too, about the meat shield. But if you're the front office, as soon as Callahan's out and everybody can stop screaming about him, okay, now it's like, okay, then
the attention turns to you.
Who's at fault? Who's doing well? Who's not doing well? Because Amy obviously has no problem separating people out and saying, "You're the problem, Rand. Bye." So, okay, so then who's next on that front? The longer Callahan stays around, again, basically is a meat shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably for Brinker, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point there of, the moment you start the clock on the next head coach, right? Like if you're, and I think Brinker, you nailed it. I think that's exactly who we're talking about here. Like once that happens, like the next one in the crosshairs is you, right? Like if things don't get better relatively quickly, I doubt very seriously you're going to go from firing Brian Callahan to hiring whoever you hire to bring in here. And the first person somebody blames again is going to be the coach. Or I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be you.
Yeah.
So does that factor into when you look at the whole thing? Because they talk about it in this piece. It's 0-4, and it looks like they're getting worse. Like, this is not just us watching the Titans thing. It's clear. Like, you watch them, and it's like they're getting worse. Like, they're getting worse out there on a week-to-week basis, which is not what you want. Like, all the ingredients of firing the coach are there. He's 3-18. They can't win a game. They're getting worse. So it's like I think there were some Titans fans that were legitimately surprised that this week wasn't the week where it happened. Now, again, maybe as we talked about yesterday, maybe after the Houston game or after the Patriots game's a little bit too on the nose, a little bit too on brand as to the way things have gone around here. But the longer it goes, I think the more people are going to bring this conversation up of, like, are they just keeping him there as long as possible so the attention doesn't start to shift on who people are angry with?
Just holding him up. Brian! Hey, Brian! Just carrying him around. Oh, my goodness.
Be mad at this guy right here.
Yeah, he's the one. His fault. All right, I need to catch up on the text line driven by WilsonCounty.com. 615-737-1025. Hit us up. There is a lot of J-Rob. I got J-Rob commenting his comical. His last 3 dev classes were studying GML practice. Josh from Cookville, though, says J-Rob had some bad drafts, but goodness, our team is bad because of Amy has shrunk. We need a new owner who actually cares. Robert says Union City, Tennessee, born and raised, LOL, and it's definitely his account. Okay, well, that's
well,
good.
I mean, it looks like his account. I was just trying to leave the door open for the possibility.
Yeah.
We've all been hoodwinked.
Yeah, that'd be Richard G. West. Lance says AJ Brown's on pace for 642 yards and 45 touchdowns. I will say that. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to say, like, first of all, like, the AJ trade is already like what it is. He has a ring. He's been in another Super Bowl. He's been great. He's one of the best. And I will say, you watch the Eagles. I mean, AJ, he's gotten out of hand with whatever, like complaining and pouting and weird social media, but they are stupid. Did you see the game where they threw to him? It was like, oh, yeah, he's still like a top 5 receiver in the league who can dominate a game. And then it's just like, yeah, let's just push our way down the field. Other than that, tush push.
All they do is win.
I know, but you throw the ball. I mean, seriously, throw the ball to the guy.
I would agree. Probably would help your offense just to give him the ball every now and then.
Yeah.
He said as much yesterday. He was like, yeah, just throw me the ball. Like, if we're struggling on offense, throw me the ball. Is basically what he said yesterday, which I was like, yep.
He's right. It's actually very simple. Shoot, I just lost this text. I hate when I do that.
You can't do that. You're in charge of the text line.
I'm really bad at this. But someone basically said there's no way they're going to let Vrabel embarrass them. So, yeah, I'd have to let Vrabel embarrass Callie, make him look worse so he doesn't make it to that week. I mean, I'm not – I actually kind of would I might almost believe him out before then more than, like, him out right
after the game.
Like you said, then that's like Vrabel, having a last laugh sort of thing. But I don't know. I mean, look,
maybe the week before you look for the coaching bump the week before Vrabel comes in.
I guess there you go.
John Fossil.
Bones Fossil.
Let's
get in
go,
there
baby.
And beat Mike Vrabel. Can you beat Vrabel? This is, as interim coach, you have one job. Beat Vrabel.
Yeah.
It's possible. I have an open mind to all of it, but clearly, like, there is a messaging from within that is going out to people. We just had PK in here yesterday, and I no doubt in my mind, there's a messaging from within that everybody calm down. We're not firing the guy.
Yes.
That is the current.
How long
feeling.
Does that last?
Yeah.
Because
let's check in on the next Sunday.
Right. Like, if it keeps going the way it's going, you're talking about we just now got into October. You're talking about a long year if it keeps going the way it's going right now. And a long year of, if you're the owner, having to go in there and watch it weekly and experience it and to just watch the whole thing unfold. And again, like, look, I said a couple weeks ago I'd be out on Brian Callahan. It's easy for me to say that because it's not my product. So you can preach patience all you want, but I'm just like, it's October. NFL coaches don't get fired in October for the most part. what's this conversation? If it's not any better, what's this conversation looking like in November, early November, mid-November?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I think it's as bad as it's been. And again, it's not just bad. It's not just 0-4. It's a team that appears to be getting worse and all the mistakes. But again, didn't make any big coaching gaffes in the last game. So I guess if we're gonna boil it down to just him, maybe you could say he's improving. The new play caller idea, which wasn't his, by the way, that worked out great.
Yeah,
but you got to look, these guys, what they're saying. I mean, I like what Jeff Simmons is saying, and he's playing well, like you said. I mean, he actually is like, you can't blame 98. Like in other years recently, it's like, man, what is 98 doing out there? This year, I'm not saying that.
He's playing exactly the way we hoped he would play.
Yeah, it's the best year he's played since 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. But good comments. It appears to be good mindset. We hear good practices.
Yeah.
But if you're that bad, then on Sunday we find out every week.
Yeah. I mean, Callahan was even talking about, this was totally separate of everything, but he was talking about Tajay Spears yesterday, and he's like, we really love the way that he practiced in training camp. And I was just like, well, I don't even know what that means anymore, because you guys talk a lot about practice around there, and it does not translate on Sundays at all. Not anything whatsoever.
Incredible practice team. Matt says, can the Titans financially afford to fire Callahan? How much pay do they owe? We don't have the full numbers on what they owe. It is another person to pay to not work for you. So, I mean, that's not something to just shrug off, but can they?
They got one of them just taken off the books last summer. So
that's right. Vrabel's off the books. And again, like that gigantic ATM where Amy can just take, that's being built over here. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You'll be all right if you own an NFL team.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. It is time for the best and worst things in sports. We'll take your best things, your worst things on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. That's coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
The best and worst of the sports week. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
On ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is the worst. You look like you're feeling sorry for yourself.
He's one of one. He is him.
This is a Coke bottle. It's not a crystal ball.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Okay, let's go. It is that time of the week. The best and worst things in sports. We'll take your best things, your worst things on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, kick us off with your best and worst things in the world of sports.
You know, I could do a best and worst both because I'm looking at ESPN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth headline at ESPN.com. Nashville lifts first major trophy with Open Cup win.
Now we're talking.
And now I need to read the story. But my best, my best is Nashville SC winning the U.S. Open Cup over Austin FC 2-1, which is partially me using Nashville SC as a meat shield because I earlier said that this is not, this is not the first major championship in Tennessee or Nashville or whatever. But it could be the worst if people are trying to say that. I'm reading the story and it doesn't really, but that's kind of wild, isn't it? Like that headline.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I guess that kind of validates the Nashville SC people saying this is the first major championship. I do not validate that. However, that is my best in sports. Congratulations to Nashville SC. We have a good professional sports team that is fun to watch, that has star players, that scores at a higher level than like the norm.
Yes.
These are things that we miss badly with other professional sports teams around here. I mean, the worst, there's a lot of possibilities here. The Big Ten with this private equity stuff is on there for me. The WNBA stuff too. I mean, it's pretty obvious that like Kathy Engelbert is a terrible commissioner. Like you got players now just coming out here with 4-minute long statements, just destroying your league and the things you do. I think her incompetence has been pretty plain to see for years now. So I definitely would give her one. And the Tigers are killing me. So that's my other worst. I got 3.
Big game today for the Tigers. I've not lost hope. Big game, yeah, for the Detroit Tigers.
I'll be there, but it'll be awful, and they'll lose.
Ian Safar, your best and worst things in the world of sports.
Yeah, Nashville SC was definitely up there as far as best. Just locking that down.
I stole it from you, man. It sucks that I go first.
That's okay.
We can both have it.
But my other one is Vandy Bama this week. I'm excited about this game. I hope Vandy plays as well as they have been playing this season, and if they do, I think it'll be a good game. So I'm looking forward to watching that one just in general. So I'll put that as up there as one of my best for sure. And Robby, I'll probably steal yours on this one. Fans at the Ryder Cup. That's my worst. We don't need to already just make ourselves look like complete idiots over here.
Right.
So, we can cheer, but we don't need to go next level like that. So that'll probably be
leave people's wife and child alone.
Yeah, that'll probably be my worst.
That'd be good.
Yeah. That would be nice. My best thing in sports, when I took a look this weekend and I was looking around, I was like, wow, there is good football being played. It's just not by the Tennessee Titans. Good football being played around here. I'd love to know what this is like on a weekly basis. I have to say, I was impressed with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. I was. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They got it done against LSU. The tempo, everything looked good. I mean, I guess technically that was their backup quarterback, but I don't know if he's going to be their backup anymore. So there's that to keep in mind. A lot of
he's a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the starting quarterback now. So a lot of conversation about that heading into last week. But Lane Kiffin did the job, man. It's kind of a battle of coaches who have struggled winning some big games, and Lane Kiffin came out on top. I watched a lot of that game. It was very entertaining. So Lane Kiffin, my best thing in sports.
I like it.
My worst thing, Ties in the National Football League. Should not happen. Ties in the National Football League. Stayed up to the wee hours of the morning the other night to watch a 40-40 tie. And here's my thing. They've started tinkering with the overtime, and that's fine. But if you're going to guarantee teams one possession each in overtime, that's fine. Put it back at 15 minutes. Like if you're gonna guarantee, like the whole reason you went to 10 to begin with is because you wanted to speed it up. But if you're gonna guarantee both teams a possession, well, just put it back at 15. Because the likelihood is you're gonna see it settled one way or the other if you do that. So look, it was a disastrous handling of it the other day. LaFleur almost totally screwed it up, which is par for the course for what he does.
Like 1 second left.
Just totally.
Maybe even a half a second.
He's the worst.
Such an Eberflus attempt.
Just ridiculous. But we shouldn't be tying games in the National Football League. I'm sorry. Let's do everything we can do to avoid a tie. That'd be great.
Totally.
Do you think they should bring back ties in the NHL?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm against all ties. And
the object of sports is there's a winner and there's a loser. And if you walk away from a game and you don't have a winner or a loser, what are we doing here?
Right. No, I'm against all ties other than the ties I wore in the 80s. But
nice.
Thank you. But no, I agree. And I continue to say they'll never do it because they would never do this. But the college, the 25-yard line overtime is awesome. And then you have to go for two.
Yeah.
And do it. That'd be way more fun, but they won't ever do it. We have a lot of responses. Worst thing in sports, Titans. Games are 3 hours long. There's 17 games in a season. That's 51 hours of watching if you watch for a week. That's over 2 days of your life gone for this trash. I'm not doing it. I'm out.
When you put it that way.
Yikes. Kenny from Spring Hill says, best, game 1, Tigers. Worst, game 2, Tigers. I'm with you, Kenny.
Acceptable. Yep.
I am with you. My worst is the Nashville SC team scoring more points than the Titans this week. That's
We have had multiple people over the last couple of weeks reach out to us and say, I guarantee you that the Nashville Predators will have a regular season win before the Tennessee Titans do. Which, we're coming up on opportunity is basically this week. If you're the Titans, you better get the win because the Predators will have 2 opportunities by the time they play again after that to get a win.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Worse, MLB champagne celebrations for getting into the playoffs. Is this Pee-wee? I'm with you there. All the celebrating to get knocked out in 2 games. Yeah.
Have they always done that? Like, have they always done that to get into the playoffs? I'm legitimately asking. I can't remember.
I think, I think so. Obviously, it's just so much more.
I was about to say, the one thing I would say on that front is, like, if you get in the playoffs, it is 162 games. Like, it's a long grind.
I have a less issue with that than the how often can you get drunk in one postseason thing where with so many rounds, I was like, hey, Dodgers. So the Dodgers had their champagne and now they have some more. And either the Tigers or Guardians will have it today too, right? After they just had, it's like, my goodness, MLB. You guys are drinking a lot here in your most important time of your year. David in Arkansas says, my best is Sam Pittman being fired along with the DC Trailblazers. My worst is Petrino will be considered the next head coach. That's a great best and worst, David. I do not buy that they're actually going to consider Petrino. I think they're saying that. If I'm wrong, my God.
How old's Petrino?
He's in his 60s. He's well into his 60s.
64. There you go.
Okay. It's an asinine. I understand. Even bringing him back, it was like, really? Okay. Well, everybody ripped that. Fine. Interim coach, okay. Actually thinking about making him your permanent head coach, you can't possibly. I don't buy it, David. I understand that that's what they're saying, and you always say the interim coach has a chance, right? And I do understand, too, there are some, that's what I've been told, there are some very powerful people who fund that program who actually would like to see him, but sometimes you just can't let them completely run the show.
He was 34-17 at Arkansas in 5 years.
He was. And he had a beautiful neck brace. Morning show, Michelle. Hey, what's up? Michelle Perry. Worse with the WNBA statement from Kathy Engelbert. That's good. And best is that college basketball is upon us. Let's go. Let's go, Michelle Perry.
Thank God. College basketball.
Robbie is so excited.
We'll talk about it in March.
Yeah.
Very excited about it.
I'll fight the good fight. Don't worry.
Now that we're talking about interim head coaches, the only thing I could think of is Brady Hoke and the all capitalized text message he sent him. I really hope I will be considered for the Tennessee job. Thank you.
I know what it takes.
I know what it takes. Thank you, Brady Hoke.
That's beautiful. Good question here. Do Pee Wee teams celebrate with champagne for their playoffs?
I doubt it.
That's a fair.
I doubt it.
That's a fair. Maybe, I don't know. Not many.
Grape juice.
Yeah, just spike the Kool-Aid.
We'll be joined by Alex Doherty from the Tennessean coming up next. We'll get an update on the Nashville Predators and these top storylines as training camp coming to a close and the regular season begins 1 week from today for the Predators. We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. We are 1 week from the beginning of the Nashville Predators season. And to help us talk more about that, we head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our buddy Alex Doherty from the Tennessean, who covers the Nashville Predators. Alex, good morning. How we doing?
I'm great. Good morning. It's been a while.
Been a minute.
Long summer.
It has been a long summer. I got Alex fully into golf last week, watching the Ryder Cup, and then Team USA totally let out a dud. So,
oh wow,
oh man, yeah.
Were you swearing at European players' family members, Alex?
No, but yeah, Robby got me into the Ryder Cup, and then I had to watch that disappointment. That was thank you for that, Robby.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
No problem.
The lesson there is don't watch golf ever.
Don't listen to Rexrode. He's a hater. So we begin on the Predators front. Brady Martin is still hanging around at training camp, still playing in a significant role at training camp. And Alex, I'm trying to read the tea leaves here, but it looks like he's going to make the opening night roster. I mean, I guess there's still some time between now and then to see what happens on that front. And obviously there's the Luke Evangelista situation, which we'll get into here in just a few minutes. But what have you made of Brady Martin to this point in camp, and is he going to start the year with the big club?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting to watch. This forward selection, process is going to be really interesting. The defense is basically set. I mean, the only question is Molendyk going to make the team, which we can talk about that. But the defense part of it is pretty easy. The forward side, you've basically got 10 forwards. 11 if you count Evangelista, who are locks to make the team. I mean, these are the guys that are going to be on the team no matter what. So that leaves one, roster spot, starting roster spot open, and then one, scratch, flex position kind of open there too. You think they're probably going to have 13 forwards to start the season. Well, Brady Martin, as you said, has been participating on the top line, or at least near the top line, with Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly for quite a while. For a while there, it was Matthew Wood, but now he's injured, so he won't make the team, at least not as a healthy player just yet. So, I mean, there's no reason that they would keep putting Martin and Forsberg and O'Reilly together if they weren't going to try it, right? I mean, like to waste this much of not waste, but to have this much of training camp go on with Martin in such a prominent role. And then to just at the last minute switch it and say, you know what, we'll just put Marchessault there without having any, time with that unit working together again. So, at this point, I would say more likely than not, Brady Martin is at least on the opening night roster and gets his debut in. But as we know, he can play up to 9 games before they have to make the decision of whether to keep him here. Now they also just made a move. I don't know if you saw this, but they just picked up Tyson Jost off of waivers. So that complicates things further. I'm not really sure what Barry Trotz is doing there. He just thought, hey, why not throw another player out there and see how that works? But I think right now, if I had to bet, Brady Martin is on this team on October 9th against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay. So based on what you're seeing from him, does he belong to the extent that you would also bet that he would be on the roster beyond the 9 games?
I do not see a guy that I think is just like a difference maker right away. I think I don't watch him out there and say, oh, this guy needs to play right away. He's going to be scoring goals. He's going to be making he's going to turn this team around. I don't see that, but I do see a guy that can play in the NHL right now. I mean, I think he can play. He's got a lot of skill. He's got enough speed to keep up. Now this is all in preseason. This is all in training camp. So like when he goes up against, their first 2 games are not that bad, but then they go right into playing, teams like Toronto and Winnipeg. How is he going to do against those kind of teams? Like Columbus and Utah are good, but Toronto and Winnipeg are better. So that'll be a good test. I just think like they want to see if this kid, can play right away. I don't know if Barry thinks it's like a way to get some juice in the team, get some fire, get some interest, or if it's literally they think he's going to be an immediate impact player. I would say just as confident as I am that he makes the opening night roster, I kind of don't think they're going to keep him around the whole season. I think he gets 7-8 games and then he goes back to the OHL. So but I don't know. A lot of people didn't think he would get it this far, so I could be wrong there as well.
So Alex, it's pretty surprising to me that the Evangelista situation has drug out as long as it has here. I mean, I figured by the time camp rolled around, maybe a day or two into camp, they'd get something figured out. They have not. So he remains unsigned. How surprised are you by that? And I guess, do you sense any end in sight to this saga between Evangelista and the Predators?
The negotiations are not good right now. That's all I know, is that things are not progressing. It's frustrating because I don't think the difference in money is that big. I mean, I think it's something like $1 million difference. I mean, it's like that close. And I think the term is probably 2 years. I think it's like one side, the Predators are at like 2 years and $2 million or somewhere around there, and the other side is 2 years and 3.5, somewhere in there. I don't think that either side is budging. I think that you can place blame wherever you want, but I wrote in the Tennessean about how I think this is a bad look for Nashville or for the team, because I just don't think that they're in any position to brush aside offense right now. Yes, Evangelista was not good. He had a terrible year scoring. Scored only 10 goals.
Get in line.
What's that?
He can get in line with everybody else last year that was not good.
Exactly. There were terrible years all up and down the roster. Right. Exactly. So was he the cause of all that? I don't think so. Was he part of it? Yeah, he definitely was. So, I mean, but again, they don't have any wiggle room to say, well, we don't need that much offense. We don't have to add this guy to the mix. But yeah, you do. You need as much options out there that can possibly go out and have a good year offensively as you can get. And they acquired Eric Halla, who scored 11 goals for the New Jersey Devils last year, and he has a $3.1 million cap hit, something around what I think Evangelista would deserve. And Eric Hall is 34. Evangelista is 23. So none of the math doesn't add up. I don't understand why it's taken this long. I mean, at this point, I don't see that he's going to be on the opening night roster. I mean, that he's going to be, playing in the first game at least. If they signed him today, he would need at least a week to get going, right? And he would need at least some practice time and to get up to speed. I mean, he's already probably going to miss the first couple games, and who knows how long this goes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just wanted to be more of a jerk. Is that the difference? He can't get himself older, but be more of a jerk.
If we could get an interview with him, maybe he's out there thinking, I don't know, we might be ass.
Maybe so.
Or you will be ass without me. No, that's to me, it's like that little difference. You need him, right? You need him if you're the Preds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you stole.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. Like they are the 31st ranked offense last year. I mean, almost last in the league. And one of their most promising young players, who is an offensive player, they're just not having in camp. And I don't understand it. It would be one thing if the guy just didn't offer anything and had no skills whatsoever. But we know the guy has skills.
Or had an outrageous demand, which it's not.
Exactly. Or if it was a crazy high ask. Right. Exactly. So I think it's a bad look. And by the way, this is just kind of an interesting aside. You know who Luke Evangelista's agent is also an agent for? Connor McDavid.
Yep.
So any hope of Connor McDavid landing in Nashville probably going out the window along with this as well. So
it's a very fair point. And also, like, Luke, can you please stop taking his attention away from Connor? Like, he's like totally consumed with the Evangelista situation. I'm sure. You stole my question earlier. Is Tanner Molendyk making this team?
He's made a late push for it because he had the injury. He missed a couple weeks. They just waived Andreas England, So that was and also, by the way, Jordan Osterley. So like the two players that were blocking his way that didn't make any sense why they were on the team to me anyways was Andreas England and Jordan Osterley. They're now out of the picture. He would be the 8th defenseman right now, and that's with Nick Hague on IR. So with Nick Hague injured, and by the way, Nick Hague's not on IR yet. He can't go until the season starts, but I think he will. With Nick Hague injured, I think it's very possible, and I think it's between him and Spencer Stastny. Does Stastny start in Milwaukee or does he start here? The rest, and same thing with Nick Blankenburg. Is Nick Blankenburg on the team? So I think there's a pretty good chance, yeah. And if he's up here, he's going to play. So it depends on whether they find a spot on the the bottom pairing for him. Would it be Stastny and Molendyk? Would it be Blankenburg and Molendyk? What does that look like? Because Wilsby's probably going to play on the top pairing with Yossi while Hague is out. So I think there's a good chance that he is on the team to start. Yeah.
Alex, last thing for you here. Obviously there's going to be so much attention on Andrew Brunette early into the season here. And I think a lot of Predators fans are going to want to know and want to see, all right, what's different from last year to this year? Some of it may just be line combination. Some of it may be, chemistry with teammates that have just taken a long time to get going. But as you've watched them play, as you've watched them practice, have you been able to pick up on this point, maybe a couple of things that they're trying to emphasize that are different from last year to this year in the way that they're trying to attack?
I don't, this is probably not going to make Predators fans feel great, but I don't know that I noticed any difference in the way they're practicing. I think it looks very similar. The way Brunette is coaching the guys, the way that everything is kind of interacting. I will say that off the ice, talking to Brunette, I think he's changed some things. I think he's going to approach how to hold players accountable a little differently. But we won't really see that until the season starts, right? So when there's a player like last year with Marchessault who has moments of not playing the way he should, what happens? Does he just talk about it in the media, or does he actually reduce his ice time? So I think we'll just have to wait and see. But in terms of the practice and that kind of side of it, I don't see much difference at all. I think it looks very similar, and I think that's okay because I don't think he wants to change too much. But yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see how he treats in the heat of battle. How does he react when so and so is not playing well or gets penalties or is giving up goals or whatever? So that will be interesting to see. I think Brunette is aware of the situation. He knows what's ahead of him. He knows that they need a hot start. They can't go 0-5. They need to at least have a good start to the season in order for him to just keep his job.
Well, Alex, we're looking forward to it, man. 1 week from today, we drop the puck and get things going. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
Alex Doherty does a great job covering the Nashville Predators for the Tennessean. We will react to what Alex had to say, and we will also get into some Vanderbilt and Alabama discussion, including some more trash talk from a person that we have come to expect some trash talk from. And let me tell you, I love it. We'll get more of it coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
What the hell happened to you guys against Vanderbilt?
Man, they played a better football game than us this game. We came out slow, and they capitalized. They held the ball. They had their game plan, and they executed.
What do you say to your team when you got Vanderbilt this year coming into Tuscaloosa?
Man, going into this game, it's we don't call them revenge games. So we gonna kill an ant with a sledgehammer this year. So I mean, just every game that we fell short last year, we definitely got red eyes going into them.
Gonna kill an ant with a sledgehammer. That was Ryan Williams, Alabama wide receiver, a few months ago with John Gruden. We talked about that at the time. Some interesting comments from Ryan Williams. And now we finally arrived at game week.
The ant is crawling its way to Tuscaloosa.
There in Tuscaloosa. We have arrived at game week between Vanderbilt and Alabama. An undefeated Vanderbilt taking on Alabama, and a college game day matchup as well. So trash talk has been no stranger in this rivalry. We heard some there from Ryan Williams. Diego Pavia has been very willing to speak his mind to this point in the season and in the offseason leading up to all this. And there was a story that came out at On3 Sports about Diego Pavia and everything going on with him. Obviously, he's getting a lot of attention right now, deservedly so. We talked about him on the show the other day, Joe, in terms of like if you're having the Heisman conversation right now in early October, like he's got to be included in it at this point. And by the way, what an opportunity from him on that regard to go in on Saturday and really make some noise on that front. Here's a quote from Diego Pavia on the expectations from this On3 story of their matchup against Alabama. Quote, I don't know what they're doing. I just focus on us, but I know we've got to bring it. That's for sure. The crowd, I think, is going to be a big factor in the game, but we just got to play within the white lines. If we do that, if we play our game, it won't be close. That is what Diego Pavia had to say on the Alabama matchup. Joe, what do you make of that heading into this one? If we do that, if we play our game, it won't be close, baby, against Alabama.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was given to CeeLo, Chris Lowe of On3. And, man, between that and it's like you got the ant and the sledgehammer over here. You got, No, we're not just going to win. We're going to blow them out over here. I wrote something today, and I cited that quote, and I was like, what if we could mic him up on the field?
Oh, man.
Like, this is what I wrote. Like, you shall not record a tackle today, yelling to the Alabama defense. You will never tackle any of us. We will score on every play. Like, my goodness. And then you got by the way, a lot of that story that Chris Lowe wrote was the story was about Diego and Johnny Manziel being like best friends. It's like, oh, now Johnny, I give Johnny credit. He's like, I'm trying to mentor him and tell him not to do stuff I did. And one of his quotes was, "Don't get lost in the sauce."
Yeah, that's good advice.
Don't do dumb that hurt the team.
I would also say maybe don't hang out with Johnny Manziel, but what do I know, man? These kids these days.
Johnny has turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, and I mean he is like I've confirmed he will be on that sideline Saturday. By the way, so I mean it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be he's gonna be down there with his Pavia jersey on. The cameras are gonna find him like 20
in Alabama, huh?
Yeah.
On the sideline.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Alabama,
he's gonna get it hard.
He's gonna.
But you know what? For all the stuff, but for all the stuff with Johnny Manziel that happened in the NFL, hey, that dude, he went in there and kicked their butt. So like he kind of like they kind of can't say anything to him. It's like, hey man. So he's hoping that Pavia will do the same thing. Look, Pavia all summer, he's talking national championship and fine bombs, like, I mean, like, and we were like, man, maybe just, I don't know, tone it down a little, like, but I don't know. They're 5-0. I didn't think they'd be 5-0 right now. I thought it'd be way earlier than this that we'd be saying, okay, can we stop the national championship talk? And, it's one of those things like you figure at some point, maybe it costs you or it gets the other side all jacked up, but all the guy does is back things up. So I guess whatever.
That's why I have no problem with it.
It's just so different for Vanderbilt. And so maybe it's like making up for decades of like I will never say a word because we're going to lose 30-0. Now, remember, we did have the pre-Bama.
Oh, we did.
That Big Joe got on the field that, Nick Saban said. I mean, Nick Saban on Saturday and game day, he's going to say, I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he said that. They're going to use that, But he also said that about Castellanos of Florida State, who kicked Alabama's butt after talking that trash and sold T-shirts afterward because he talked the trash. So who knows?
Look, I have no problem with it. Like, Pavia clearly has not been afraid to speak his mind. And to your point, I mean, all he's done is back it up to this point. Now, look, I think this is a big challenge for Vanderbilt. Like, on the road at Alabama. Alabama's playing well. Alabama's coming off a huge win against Georgia. Their offense looks competent. Their defense looks like it's just not totally lost like it looked like in week 1 against Florida State. Now, I will say, as we talked about the other day, I still look at Bama's defense. It's like, well, you might be able to run the ball on them. Like, Georgia ran the ball really well.
And they got linebacker issues. Yeah. One out for a half, one done for so they're banged up.
Yeah. So I'm not saying Vanderbilt can't go in there and have offensive success, but I mean, they're a 10.5-point dog in this game for a reason, right? Like, you're on the road at Alabama. It's a huge challenge. But it's also not like Alabama or like Vanderbilt doesn't have Alabama's attention in this game. So, like, Diego Pavia saying this stuff, I don't think it's going to add, like, what? We weren't paying attention to Vanderbilt, but now the quarterback's talking, so we are now. It's like, well,
yeah.
If Alabama wasn't paying attention to Vanderbilt before that, they got some problems.
Absolutely. And all the Alabama talk this week, remember that loss here was right after that huge win over Georgia, the ridiculous Ryan Williams play and all that stuff. So, that's also been brought up. And really, if you listen to Ty Simpson and Kalen DeBoer this week, they both have talked about how, last year, we're the Simpson quote was, we're not going to make the same mistake again. Now, of course, he wasn't playing, and he said that. And DeBoer was asked if last year, if they basically overlooked him. He's like, well, I'm not going to argue with that. So, in a much more subtle way, Alabama's also talking trash, like basically dismissing the loss last year. Like, we didn't take
See, that bothers
seriously.
me too, though, when people do that. Like, you may have overlooked him a little bit, but by the time, the second half rolls around and you're getting your butt kicked, you probably stop overlooking them at that point.
Exactly.
You just got your butt kicked. It's okay.
Yeah. They took the lead. They got the tip pick, which gave them that separation. They punched you in the mouth. You came back and took the lead, and they came back and beat you. So it's at some point, I assume they had your attention last year, right? Yeah.
I would hope.
I mean, this is the Vanderbilt has not won at Alabama since 1984. And again, this is Vanderbilt's second game day appearance ever. And I never would have guessed, seriously, never, that Vanderbilt would be the road team for game day.
No.
But like you said, there is a big spread. I mean, I don't think Diego Pavia is going to be upset if they win by a point Saturday.
No.
Like, we should have blown them out, but I guess we'll take it. Whatever. I mean, it's a fascinating game. I mean, I can't wait. I think Vanderbilt's path is a huge final score. The way on the over needs a hit heavily, and because their offense can't be stopped, because their defense. I still have skepticism about Vanderbilt's defense.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We'll take your thoughts on Diego Pavia talking some trash before the Alabama game. We'll take your thoughts on the matchup as well between Vanderbilt and Alabama. We got the Rex rant coming up at 7:45. Charles Robinson ahead at 8 o'clock. We'll get into the Titans and all things NFL with him. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Are you wondering where to go watch NFL games this Sunday? Come to Twin Peaks in Madison, home of the 29-degree beer, and join 102.5 The Game for the pregame show before the Titans take on the Cardinals. Pregame show brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Tennessee Brew Works. And speaking of Vanderbilt, Alabama, Commodores taking on Alabama on Saturday. The pregame at 1 o'clock on 94.9 The Fan, kickoff at 2:30. Vanderbilt football brought to you by Gary Force Acura, Jimmy Kelly's Steakhouse, and Smoky Mountain Tops. Taking your thoughts on the Vanderbilt-Alabama matchup, and Diego Pavia talking some trash heading into the matchup. Says, quote, if we do that, if we play within the white lines, we play our game, it won't be close. It won't be close between Vanderbilt and Alabama. Now, I will say this does set up, if they go in there and win, this sets up for some all-time Pavia trash talk after the game. Like if they win the game, I'm sure Clark Lee will be excited, and that's great. I don't want to hear from Clark Lee in the immediate on-the-field interview after the game, with all due respect. Get over there to Diego Pavia immediately if you're the broadcast crew and talk to him.
What about Diego and Johnny Football together?
That would be sick.
A joint presser. Clark, actually, we don't need you for the post-game press conference. We're going to bring in Johnny Manziel instead, and he and Diego will – my goodness.
They're both at the podium together.
Can you imagine? What was it last year when they beat him? What was it? We're farting turnt, right?
Yeah.
Was that Diego?
The goalpost going down Broadway right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I walked out of Bridgestone Arena after a preseason game. I was like, look, goalpost over there. How about that?
So I got a texter on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHigh.com, 615-737-1025. Robbie's making me mind the text line.
I am.
Says, when I was at Vanderbilt in the late 80s, we were so bad that toward the end of the game, which we would inevitably lose, we would chant, that's all right. That's okay. You're going to work for us one day.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty good.
I love it.
Times have changed around there.
No, and I got into this a little bit as I continue to shamelessly plug my own writing, but I was talking to Barton Simmons this week, the GM, and trying to get, it's like you always, whenever you talk to like GMs or ADs, I talked to Candace Lee too. Okay, so how much money do you have? How's it going? Like, where do you rank in all this stuff? And of course, I mean, no one has a spreadsheet of here's what all the SEC teams are paying everybody, right? But they all try to figure it out with market value and just trying to. There's a little bit of reading tea leaves. Agents can you can kind of have a feel for it. And look, I think the bottom line is like Vanderbilt is absolutely in there. They are in the fight, and obviously we're seeing that. But also, so the big thing with Vanderbilt, and this is years in the making, the administration, as we've talked about, they fully support it. Any successful college football program or failed college football program, I promise you that the conversation at some point gets to either we have alignment from president down, or we didn't have alignment and that's why it didn't work. They have alignment, and alignment at Vanderbilt, like it was non-existent for a century. So this admissions meeting, every year football program, all football programs, they have been meetings with the university admissions people. And a lot of times it's formality stuff, but there's also obviously that sometimes you have players you want to get in, like there's all these. And look, let's face it, university admissions meetings with Vanderbilt football before the last few years probably weren't like awesome moments.
Probably not.
At this one, the university people were like, we're doing like international outreach stuff to student international, and they're like bringing up the Alabama win. But like students, like the football last year is bringing more interest in people coming to, and
it's amazing how that works.
Well, right. And now, but this is the way people at Vanderbilt on the university side have thought. It's like, no, we're an elite academic. We don't. No, man, sports matters,
which is
even to those
Vanderbilt
people.
Fans have been screaming about for decades.
Exactly. And so again, credit. I mean, Chancellor Daniel Diermeyer, AD Candace Story Lee, and then down from there, it's pretty amazing. And so if you're a Vanderbilt fan, you got to enjoy the heck out of this. And yet I still think you're going 8-4, and you're probably going to lose by double figures on Saturday. I'm sorry. Am I a hater?
Jeez, that was an about face right there.
Well,
it's an absolute heel turn.
Yeah, like it is awesome. It is great. And I really hope that we are talking about look, how amazing would it be for us, for this entire state, if Vanderbilt, Tennessee has playoff implications for both
To be,
teams.
I am here for it.
And I think it's way more possible now than I did a few weeks ago because LSU could come in here and lose. And at the beginning of the year, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to go
Vandy's
well.
schedule is tough, though.
Oh, it's
right,
very tough.
but LSU looked way harder than it does now.
Right.
Texas, I mean, I don't think they're going to win at Texas, but Texas is not good. At the beginning of the year,
Debatable.
At the beginning of the year, I would have picked Texas to beat Vanderbilt by 3 touchdowns. I don't know. And then after that, you've got, Missouri does look good. Auburn, they could lose.
There's not a game
all
on their
those games.
schedule that's impossible.
Exactly. And before the year, I would have picked Bama, LSU, and Texas as 3 games. There's just no freaking way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could make the case. Well, it's harder now because what Alabama did last week. But I could make the case that the toughest game on their schedule is at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Left because they don't seem to – they have not matched up with that offense well. So, but anyway, yes, it's a little bit of a hate, but I think we both think that there's some reality coming. If there's not reality coming –
or if the reality is different than what we think it is, yeah.
Well, yeah. If there's not, it's a great year for it because, my God, we can talk less about we ass and more about
I need Diego.
You
to come
good,
up. Yeah,
Danny.
Exactly. Come up with something after the game on Saturday.
Well, whatever Diego Pavia's slogan is after this, after they beat Bama by 14, we'll go with that. Yeah. Or Eli from Smyrna says Joe is the biggest hater. Again, I'm not. Am I being
GB Joe, baby?
Yeah. Am I being influenced by the front of the jersey by history? I've watched Vanderbilt all year. I think their offense is going to do stuff Saturday. I really do. I just and their defensive numbers are fine, and they had a dominant, they had a dominant second half at Virginia Tech. The quarterback getting hurt against South Carolina, you got to kind of keep that in mind. I just think Alabama and Ryan Williams, by the way, Mr. Sledgehammer and the Ant, all he's hearing about is his how he's not living up to. He's made some mistakes this year. He's
lazy.
Yeah, he's had some rough reps that people have called out.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing where it's like at some point he's going to have like a 10-catch, 200-yard game, right? So, yeah.
Well, I think it's a big Clark Lee week from the standpoint of, number one, like everybody knows it's a huge game. So can your team handle that? But that defensive staff, can you come up with something that slows Alabama down? Like, can you come up with something that keeps you in the game that way? Because look, it's a 2:30 game, college game days there. Like I said, it's got the big game feel to it, right? Denny is going to be rocking on Saturday. So can you handle that if you're them and hang in there through that? Like, I think the start of the game is huge. Like, do you come in there and just get absolutely overwhelmed early on? Or do you hang around and make it a game heading into halftime where you start to create a little bit of doubt? Like, I think that's the big key in the game on Saturday.
I do too. Look, you're going to have to – I think Alabama has the potential this year to still have one of the best offenses in college football. I do. Ty Simpson is like –
he's good.
It's kind of cool to see a 5-star go to – and I know Tennessee fan, wanted Ty Simpson and other programs, but – it's kind of cool to see a guy go in, not be very good early, and then people are like, oh, my God, Ty Simpson. It's like, yeah, he's a freshman, and Saban threw him in some game against South Florida. And to see him develop over years, and, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to work. They got a chance to be really good. So, yeah, can Vanderbilt tip a pass, at the line? Just find a few 3-and-outs, find a few punts in this game defensively. And if so, then I think they have a chance.
Yeah. I thought Alabama offensively last week against Georgia was one step ahead of Kirby Smart the whole time. Like, I thought the whole game they were one step ahead of, and it kind of felt like they were just anticipating what Georgia was going to do. Like the third down call to end the game last week was just brilliant.
Yes.
Like, it was beautiful for Alabama. So, like, it's a big challenge for Clark Lee and that staff this week to figure something out defensively to steal you a possession or two. I think that's really what it is. Can you can you steal a couple of possessions there?
Yeah, you got to rip the ball out here. Again, tip a pass and pick it. And you need some stuff like that. Yeah, last year that tip pass from Milroe was huge. Then you get separation right away, and now you put the pressure on them. I agree. This is a game that the longer it goes, where it's like, oh no, this isn't just going to be some Bama revenge romp. Then it gets tight. But to your point on Bama and last week, I think there's an example of like why Kellen DeBoer got the job. And the reason that he took Washington to the national championship is because he's a creative offensive coach.
For sure.
And he knows how to put together a passing game. And so he's got some pretty good personnel to run it.
He does. Now, the moment so far under Kalen DeBoer, the moment you start to feel good about everything they're doing is when they just dud.
Yeah.
Can you avoid that
on
Saturday?
And it's the defense that has let them down. And I think it's trash talk from Pavia, and we all have fun with it and all that. But I don't doubt that he's looking at film of Bama's defense and saying, dude, we can do stuff against these guys.
For sure.
And I think they can.
615-737-1025, our phone number. We've got the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. We'll take your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Charles Robinson, our buddy from Yahoo Sports, with us at 8 o'clock. All that ahead, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
We are losing our minds, okay?
Did you try to kick an 85-yard field goal with Joey Sly out there?
Yeah, who is this shit doing? Yeah.
I'm a great interviewer, as he said.
You ass.
You can ask me anything you want to ask me, Joe, but
You ass. Why the fart were they booing me? Yeah, this shit doing. Yeah. His dad played, right? He played in the NFL? I think so.
It is that time of the day, the Rex Rant, brought to you by Functional Medicine of Tennessee. Rise up to better health. Check them out at functionalmedicineoftennessee.net.
Oh, boy. How many times do I respond to that with who boy? Like, so many different terrible accents I try
Makes me
out.
nervous every time.
Yeah, I know. Ian is a funny mother farter, isn't he?
Yep. Just continue to just make my heart drop every time.
Yes. So, well, it's fitting because we're going to talk about Cleveland. Can I just jump in here though, real quick, with Lester on the text side, driven by WilsonKanye.com. He says, Joe cracks me up. Talking about Vandy doing well, talking them up, blah, blah, blah. Then he pulls off his Hulk Hogan yellow Hulkamanian shirt underneath his NWO heel shirt. You're going to finish 8-4, you jabronis.
It did kind of go that way.
I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. You know what? 8-4 is great.
Yeah. I mean, what was their preseason win total? 4.5?
Exactly. 8-4 would be awesome. I hope I'm wrong. You know, I mean, I think they absolutely. I could be wrong.
You're gonna piss off some Vandy fans.
Well, I'm sorry. You know that. There you go. Just providing some motivation. So today I got to talk about. You know, every once in a while I catch a stray here on this here text line. By the way, you know, someone will be like, "Well, why don't you make an excuse for Shador, Joe?" So, which is not fair. Look, I do still believe that Shador Sanders as a prospect was the best prospect in this draft. Not a number one pick overall prospect, but he was my favorite prospect because I value accuracy, and his on-target throw numbers were the best and better than would have been the best in other years, by the way. Or other flaws, all that stuff. But I'm just saying, I liked him as a prospect. I also think some of the criticism for him was overboard, and I think there's just a lot of it goes into his dad and all that stuff. I got no more defense after this stuff yesterday. I mean, it's just, and someone needs to help him because he's just not helping himself. I'm watching Dylan Gabriel start for the Cleveland Browns, and it's like, I'm sorry, I fully and firmly believe Shador Sanders is better than him. And I think in the preseason, we saw that. I think you saw, like, Shador Sanders can play. I hope he gets a chance, you know, to start in the NFL someday. I think he's an intriguing developmental prospect. But like this, if anybody didn't see it, he was asked all these questions yesterday in the locker room. I can't play anything for you other than the video because he didn't actually verbally answer questions. He mouthed his answers silently so that there would be no quotes.
Like he was a mime.
Yes. And he didn't do like this.
No hand sign.
Yeah, he didn't do the, you know.
Although that could be coming soon.
I'm trapped in glass. Look, everybody. But he just kept, I mean, I could read the lips, and I think he actually was answering the questions. It was like they were trying to do the most eventually like the most softball questions. It was like, how's Joe? Has Joe been a good mentor? And you know, and you could see him mouthing, Joe's been great, but it's just like help the kid. First of all, I think his dad, because I do blame his dad. You know, his dad's one of the two best athletes in my lifetime. American athletes, in my opinion. I mean, I
did you really rank yourself over Deion Sanders? Wow, how about that?
Well, I said 20. I didn't say he wasn't first. I mean, well, let me say teams where, I mean, because actually Simone Biles would be the best. So 3: Biles, Bo Jackson, and Deion Sanders. So he can do whatever he wants, and he always did, and that's great. That's Deion. Some of the advice or lack of advice or whatever that has gone through the whole, clearly. The way he fell, and we talked about this before. I mean, like, this is criticism for him. Clearly, he screwed this up, the process, and some teams hated him. And we've gone through, then they're telling teams not to draft. Like, it's just been a complete botching, which should never happen if your dad has gone through the NFL and knows all these people in the NFL. Like, how could you screw it up that bad? Like, how? Like, so I have to blame his dad. But, like like what he did yesterday is such an unserious move, and just it really reflects poorly on him. And I'm done defending him. Is basically what I'm saying.
And people are saying, I guess Rex Ryan got on ESPN and was talking about Shedeur Sanders and how basically that he's trash, and that some of the things he says, you're talking about a third string quarterback and all these different things. So people are saying that was like Shedeur Sanders' response of like, if people are going to talk about things I say, I'm just not going to say anything. But like when you're the third string quarterback, and number one, people are interviewing you anyway, which is just amazing to me. But I understand why, because it's Shedeur Sanders.
Yes,
like you have to have some professionalism to you. You can't get up there and just start miming like you've lost your mind in there. And again, like, part of it's kind of funny because if that's his response to the criticism in Rex Ryan, like it's kind of funny. He's like, "Oh, you think you're going to take things I say and use against me? Well, I'm just not going to say things." But it just kind of goes into exactly like people are wondering why he doesn't play. Well, this is why. Like this is why he didn't play and this is why he fell in the draft, because people don't want the circus. And that's what this is. It's a circus. Like if you don't feel like he was good enough to be your starting quarterback, why would you sign up for this? And that's why he fell in the draft. And look, I think he's probably going to get his shot at some point this year, because I'm with you. I don't know that I have high expectations for Dylan Gabriel, but I mean, it kind of shows you that number one, they drafted Dylan Gabriel ahead of him. And number two, like there's just a lot of nonsense that goes on with him. And I just think at that position at the NFL level, there's not very much of a nonsense quota that you put up with. Like the job's hard enough on its own, and you make it harder doing all this stuff. So I don't think it's going to end very well for Shedeur Sanders. I don't.
Yeah. Be a pro. It's just be a pro. That is a huge part of it. Every day, be a professional. What he did yesterday is completely unprofessional.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of being a pro. And so I know some people look at it and say, well, who cares? Some reporters and he's having fun with them. But again, this is now brought, like, we all saw it. Everybody sees it because it's ridiculous. And so you have just declared, I don't care about those reporters. I mean, they got some great video of a guy miming. Okay. They got eyeballs on their stuff that you never would have imagined. But no, the point is that you are declaring to everybody else, I'm not a professional. Well, it's bad.
The draft part of this too, like it's the other thing. Like but you just fell in the draft to the 5th round.
And you're not a 5th round player.
And you're not a 5th round player. Like I don't think he's that good, but I never thought he was a 5th round player.
He's a second. He should have been 2nd round for sure.
So what did you learn from it? And when you start doing stuff like this, the answer is like, oh, nothing. Like right. You didn't learn anything from it.
Yeah, and maybe I'm not putting enough on him, and I'm putting too much on people he listens to. But like someone in his orbit needs to be like, what? Come on, like you can't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Texter says Jackson Dart was the best. Joe, admit it. By the way, Jackson Dart this week said the moon landing was fake. So good to know. We got some real brainiacs in this rookie QB class. I'd prefer Cam Ward just saying we asked.
He was being for real.
Apparently.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. That's not good at all.
I didn't see that.
That's a tough look, Giants. Good luck, though.
I mean, first off, Jackson Dart's played one game. Can we slow down a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know who the best quarterback is right now.
No.
In this draft class.
Not even, I mean, even Charles is like, man, look at Jack. I'm like, okay. I mean, he had some great runs. Also, keep running the ball like that and let me know when Jackson Dart is inactive this year. But maybe he doesn't believe in injuries or doctors.
I need to go find that. I didn't see it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports will be with us coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans and all things NFL. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingan will be live at the all-new Circa Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall this Monday. Prior to the Monday Night Football game, head up there, watch the Chiefs and the Jags, plus ask about Circa's giveaway of a trip to Las Vegas for the Titans-Raiders game coming up later this month. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. And Thursday at 8 o'clock means only one thing. We head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports to the program. Charles, good morning. How we doing?
I'm doing well, gents. How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing great. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. So, Charles, a lot of conversation this week around Cam Ward. Titans fall to 0-4. They get shut out by the Houston Texans. Cam Ward has his post-game comments about how we ass, and that has taken off around here, and the national media is talking about it as well. What did you make of Cam Ward's comments? What do you make of where things currently stand with the Titans, with Brian Callahan, after a week where they get shut out and they appear to be getting worse on a week-to-week basis?
Well, look, I think it's great for us, the media, when Cam stands up there and says what he says, and it's great for the fan base because I think it's something that represents probably what the fan base is feeling right now. And I know, Bill Callahan's come out since then, and Jeffrey Simmons has also come out since then. Ken said that they talked to Cam about it, and it's anytime a rookie quarterback gets up there and says something that can be put on a shirt and it's negative, it's a bad moment, honestly. Like, I know fans don't want to hear that because what he said, I don't think the content of what he said, particularly, he put himself in there, is not wrong. But what it does is it now separates himself, whether intended or not, it separates himself from the team and groups him with the fans. And it groups him with us, like the media, that are being critical of this situation. And again, I don't think that's intended, but it is a reality. When you see what the response was after what Cam Ward said, what you see is a lot of, he ain't wrong though, a lot of, but what he said is true. And again, it's not intended, but it does separate himself from the rest of the team, because he's the guy who's willing to step up and say, I'll tell the truth that maybe the rest of the team won't. And again, that's the young kind of moment there where a player has to know, I can speak the truth here. There can be plenty of evidence pointing to what I'm saying being accurate, but I'm also 4 games into my NFL career. I don't have relationships with everybody in this locker room. There's a lot of grown men in here trying to feed their families. There's a lot of dynamics at play that have nothing to do with what it's like to say these things in college versus what it's like to say it on a professional platform. And by the way, all those coaches, Brian Callahan goes, a lot of lives change. The entire coaching staff loses their jobs. There could be front office shuffling. Who knows? And again, coaching staff losing his jobs means a lot of players are going to lose their jobs. This is the worst part of this, by the way, because right now what's happening, whenever we talk about it, we're like, well, is Bill Callahan going to be fired? And we can be very blasé about it, but these guys are all worried about, I'm going to lose a job here. And players are like, I'm now going to lose my coach who's an advocate for me, and I'm in year 3 or 4 and I'm hanging on for dear life. This might be it for me as an NFL player. All of these dynamics now are coming into play because you're 0-4. Everything's going in the wrong direction. You're not getting the balm of a win, even one win, to make yourselves feel better and just calm the situation. I think that's all coming into play right now. Now, don't get me wrong. When I saw it, I was like, man, he's being honest. And I don't disagree with him. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, is this, is this that different than when Zach Wilson came out and decided to criticize, what was going on with the Jets? Words might have been different, but in the locker room, it resonated in that Jets locker room. Why is this kid separating himself from us? You don't want that to happen with Cam. Now, thankfully, I don't think it's that bad. It's not on the level of like Zach, where it's like, boom, instant fracture. What's going on, and how are they going to repair this? But Titans need to win, man. And after Cam said what he said, it only ratchets it up. I think it only ratchets it up.
Yeah, like I totally disagree with even comparing that to Zach Wilson, Charles, because look, the we ass part of it, we have fun with we ass, okay? But the quote itself did not separate Cam from the situation whatsoever. Not even
No,
close.
no. I'm not saying he's separating himself from the performance of his team. He's separating himself emotion. And again, I'm not saying this is intended, but Joe, you can't deny when Cam says that, the people that are frustrated with the performance of the Titans on the outside now see him as one of us. And now it's, hey, he gets it. Good for him. Way to stand up.
Okay.
He earned a win inside the losing by being the guy who. And
okay,
you know what?
So what's the problem internally? I mean, again, the two words that everybody's running with.
Because he's 4 games in, Joe, and he's completing 51% of his passes.
But again, that full quote included his critique of his own performance. That's what I'm saying.
But again, it doesn't matter, Joe. You're still separating yourself. You can still stand up. Come on, Joe. Let's be intellectually honest here.
I'm asking you to do that.
Okay, well, I'm being intellectually honest. You can
stand
up there and say
one of us is wrong.
Joe, you can stand up there and you can say, our organization's terrible right now, but the fact that you're the one standing up there and putting the phrase "we ask" on it is an act of, whether you mean to or not, it's an act of separating yourself from what's going on emotionally. Like, hey, everybody else is looking at this. There are people who are saying we want Callahan fired. There are people who are saying, burn it to the ground, start over. And when you stand up and you go, hey, if we're keeping it a buck, again, and I'm not disagreeing with the content of what he is saying. I'm just saying, when you're 4 games in and you're the guy who stands up and says it, again, whether you mean to or not, you are becoming part of the group looking at the Titans and going, this is a trash situation right now. Everything that's going on. And it's the rest of the roster. There's 52 other guys on that 53, right? There's people on the practice squad who are trying to hang on for dear life for jobs. There's coaches that are all sitting there right now going, put the house up for sale. Like, it's everybody's hanging by a thread here. And for that to occur, we love it as the media. Fans love it. I'm not saying he was dishonest at all. Everything's accurate there. But again, you're 4 games in, and it puts you in a situation where now everybody agrees with Cam and embraces Cam. And now moving forward, now if they lose next week, again, we know how the quarterback feels about it. What about everybody else? Hey, Jeffrey Simmons, why are you having a conversation with the quarterback about this? Why don't you, Jeffrey Simmons, how come you're not saying this? Brian Callahan, why aren't you saying this stuff? Why isn't everybody else saying this stuff? Cam said it. He's a leader. You're not. That's how people feel.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't deny that's what has happened here.
Right, but
it absolutely has happened.
So first of all, he's talking. I mean, you're talking state of things, organization. I mean, he's talking about the football team on the field. Okay,
I'm not disagreeing with that, Joe. Come on, man. You think I'm going to sit here and say he's wrong? He's not wrong.
Well, right, but again, like, you could say he's separating himself or whatever, but the bottom line is people are allowed to react however they react.
Sure.
And, I mean,
there's consequence too.
But
there is.
Well, sure, but again, if Cam did not include himself, then I'm with you. Like, then there is a finger being pointed, and you're not, and you're not including yourself. But that's not the case. And over again, he has criticized his own play as being part of the situation. So I mean, look, I again, the we ask part of it that gets run with, so fine. It becomes like a joke. It becomes everybody mocking them.
To us.
Well, sure. But like,
yeah.
I just,
that doesn't, what did he say, do you think, honestly? What do you think him saying that, being completely right, how did that make the team better? Other than, geez, it sure feels like this is coming apart and they better fix it.
How does any post game comment make a team better?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think, like, I gotta be honest with you, we're gonna be on different sides. I feel like you guys are close to it, and I'm just saying, if this is on another team, it makes it look like an even hotter mess than it is, and or it's an accurate representation that, oh my God, your rookie quarterback who's 4 games into his career is now the only person in your organization who apparently is willing to stand up and challenge them on this level.
But see, you're taking challenge him. But first of all, I don't think he's the only player who has said like we're not good right now to some effect, softer than that, right? To some, but again, I don't think he's pointing the finger and challenging. He's saying like we suck right now. I mean, like
you don't think that's you don't think that's a quarterback who knows his platform, who he is, every guy who comes in that position, you go through the vetting process, and it's all about can you lead a group of grown men when you come into the league. You don't think they stand up there and understand that when they speak, and maybe they don't. I mean, maybe that's part of the fatal flaw sometimes with young guys coming to the league, not understanding that when they say something, it can resonate. And yeah, it's funny. It can be a funny thing that gets repeated a billion times, which it has. It can go on T-shirts, which it will. It's great radio fodder. It's awesome for me because I get to go and talk to everybody about it. But then you got to walk into that locker room again, and there are guys who are sitting there going, doing the best we can, man. Like, I'm doing everything I can here to help us win.
See, but again, you are separate. I mean, we probably should go to a different topic.
We should.
But you are separating him as like, I'm pointing at you guys, and I think we suck. And also, he is the leader. Like, I mean, I think before any of this, I think as a vocal person, as a presence, he is the leader. Now, he has to play better to really, I think truly be the leader of the franchise, leader of the team. He has to establish himself as a player, and that has not happened yet. But I think he is the leader, the vocal leader, and all that. And I think this strengthened it, but we can agree to disagree. Robbie, can you break the tie real fast? Who's right?
Charles is right.
Oh my God!
For this reason,
you just
no. For this,
I don't
clearly.
Wait. Okay, but I do want to make the point here. Again, I don't think he is not lying. He's not lying.
Well, I didn't say he was lying.
Everybody knows he's not lying.
Like, I don't think there's anybody listening and say, "Oh, I'm trying, Cam. Gee, you're so mean to me."
I mean,
that's not what it is.
Like, I get it. Like, I totally understand, and I understand the emotion. I get it. Like, I totally get all that. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, is this better or worse for your football team? Now, here's the great part about this. I can totally be proven wrong. This could be a pivot point. Right here, what he said could change things. And in a week or 2 weeks or a month from now, I could look back and go, you know what? I was wrong. That's exactly what they needed. And a rookie quarterback stood up and did what they needed. And maybe that's the bright spot to come out of this. Well, the awesome part is now we get to watch it unfold.
Well,
yeah, I want to hear your
What I was going to say was clearly Jeffrey Simmons thought it was a problem because he said something to him about it. So, like, agree or disagree, Jeffrey Simmons looked at it and said, I feel the need where I have to go say something to him about this. And
now that puts he and Jeffrey Simmons kind of on opposite, right? They're a little bit, there's a dynamic there, right? Where you got a guy who's saying, now I got to go talk to the quarterback. The media's like, Simmons didn't like it because he felt like he had to talk to him, and Callahan had to talk to him. So what is that? That's two diametrically opposed, or two guys that are now diametrically, at least in some way, opposed to how it went down, because now they had to inject themselves and go speak to him about it. Right?
Jeff's allowed to be wrong like you guys. That's fine. Anybody who wants to join your wrong team, join up.
I love it. That's great. It's awesome.
So, Charles, you were there for the 40-40 tie between the Packers and the Cowboys, which just drove me absolutely insane, staying up and watch a tie on Sunday night. Here's where I come down on this. Like, if you're going to guarantee both teams a possession in overtime, then put the clock back at 15 minutes. That's where I'm at on this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was horribly mismanaged by LaFleur and Green Bay at the end, and they're, frankly, incredibly lucky to walk out of there with a tie. But what do you make of the overtime setup as is? And if you're going to guarantee a team a possession, should they put the clock back at 15 minutes?
Well, that's the counter argument you're going to get to the 15 is that people will say, well, it's still imbalanced because, if team A has a 6-minute drive and then team B has a 6-minute drive, well, then team A now has the advantage of a 3-minute drive to end the 15-minute quarter. So people will say, look, in infinity, you can put whatever you want on the clock. If the ball goes back and forth enough, someone eventually is going to have the advantage. I'm with you. I say it needs to go back to 15 minutes because we have 15-minute quarters, number one. Number two, I think it's reasonable to have a 15-minute quarter, have a team get the ball in overtime, put on a 7-minute drive. And if the next team gets the ball and they only have a 2-minute drive, man, that's on you at that point. Like, but you had the opportunity to also have your own 7-minute drive. So to me, you can take the equality a little bit further. Just give it another 5 minutes, and the argument is diminished at least a little bit. I don't like the 10 minutes because it's so easy nowadays for NFL teams, particularly on a night like that where defenses weren't stopping anybody, to put together a 6-7 minute drive and then put the opposition in a hole to go and, either match it or win the game with half the time. So it's, I'm like, just keep it what it is. We have 15-minute quarters, make it a 15-minute quarter. Coaches, maybe tell your players halfway through the fourth quarter, by the way, if we go to overtime, it's only one overtime period. So everybody knows. I'm shocked we still are getting to the point where players don't know that you can end in a tie. But yeah, I think they could definitely tweak the overtime rules to at least make that a little bit more equitable on the two sides, sort of having the same amount of time. But yeah, I mean, that game was it was stupid, and both defenses. I've obviously the Packers. I'm shocked at how awful the defense looked that night. I don't think Micah is 100% at all. I think when you watch, and I think he had an okay game, and they threw a lot at him during the course of that game. But I do think his back is clearly bothering him, and he's not at 100%. I think the Cowboys showed offensively they can definitely bring a lot to the table, but defensively, I mean, it continues to me to look like the Mike Nolan 2020 season under Mike McCarthy, where I'm just like, it's hard for me to believe they're going to turn around things with the problems that they ultimately have. I don't know if the scheme's correct and that the players necessarily fit what he wants to do with a lot of the zone stuff that he's running. But yeah, I think, I don't know. What do you guys think? I know the great thing that came out of all this was that Jerry Jones on his Tuesday show at their flagship station, he's like, he got asked like directly, this is about like what, like he got put on the overtime question. He came out and said like, it's about TV. Like he was just like, look, it's about keeping games in a 3-hour time slot, which by the way doesn't even exist anymore. And what that means is it's about making sure that our advertising money is like we're maximizing advertising money, because you can't have games overlap, because then people are missing some of the commercials in another game. And now that's jacking up the advertising money whenever, games are on a national platform, even though this was a Sunday night game. So it's a little bit different, but Jerry just came out and straight up said like, it's this way because we're trying to keep our money right.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned somebody there that a lot of Titans fans are talking about around here. So I want to get your thoughts. Mike McCarthy is not coaching this year.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of Titans fans are already looking ahead to who the next coach is going to be. What do you make of Mike McCarthy, where he's at, and if he's going to get another shot being a head coach in the National Football League?
I think he'll get another shot. I think Mike did a lot of great things, for the Cowboys, which I was surprised by. I wasn't so sure about that hire. It felt like a retread to me. But I think he did a really good job leading the organization, given what the limitations are of the Cowboys, meaning the chaos, right? Just dealing with the BS, like the Jerry nonsense and all the stuff that really goes on with ownership in the front office. Mike was really, really good at just setting that to the side. And it was funny because Jerry at times would come out and like criticize Mike's play calling or the scheme or whatever. And Mike was always very good about navigating that. I thought the players really, really responded to Mike and liked Mike. I thought, to bring in Dan Quinn shows you can operate with a lack of an ego when you're willing to, at least particularly defensively, bring in a guy of that nature who's been a head coach, who you're basically turning over the defense to entirely and saying that's your world. Coaches who are particularly offensive minded coaches who are willing to do that and just say, hey, look, I'm making you the executive of the defense, kind of like Kevin O'Connell did with Brian Flores in Minnesota. I think that I like those guys, because it shows there's an element of egolessness with them. However, it's complicated offensively because, he and Kellen Moore wasn't great. It was when it came to play calling and kind of who had that responsibility, then ultimately that's how Brian Schottenheimer ended up being the offensive coordinator there when Mike and Kellen had to go their opposite ways, and they shared the same agent. And the agent's like, let me work this out. I'll get, Kellen will go his way. Mike, you'll be fine. We'll, Brian Schottenheimer can come in. The one thing I will say, and Titans fans should pay attention to this, so far, and it really came out in the Green Bay game, Schottenheimer does kind of run a creative offense. And I didn't always see that with Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. There were years there where you struggled to understand exactly what their identity was going to be. And Mike would always talk about running the football, want to be a run dominant team and really establish this. And then you would go through seasons and go, okay, well, are you really proving this right now? Because it doesn't feel like you're leaning into that consistently. I wouldn't have any problem with him being a candidate. I definitely would not. I just think that if Brian Callahan gets fired here, I want to know that they cast a wide net when it comes to hiring the next coach. And I personally believe you make that hire 100% with Cam Ward in mind. Like, you can't squander a number one overall pick quarterback. I think that's the kind of thing where if it happens, it sets you back a decade if you don't get it right.
Okay, so since you're taking unnecessary pot shots at rookie quarterbacks today, Charles, I've got one who I think deserves criticism. I mean, please tell what the hell is this Shedeur Sanders miming crap? And is there who can help this kid? Like, someone's got to help this kid.
This to me, this was it. This was the line crossing moment. It really was. I remember somebody came to me a couple of days before this, and they're like, hey, he said this thing about seeing the state, hey, you see the quarterback play out there. And I'm paraphrasing here, but Shedeur basically saying, I could go out and do that, right? And I looked at it, and I'm like, I'm not going to, that one's not.
Yeah, people took a little bit of a leap with that one.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's a slightly aggressive, but I mean, I don't have a problem with a kid saying, hey, I think I'm confident I can go out and, play like that. That's fine. But here's the separating line to me. And man, I went off on a podcast about this. You have a moment where Dylan Gabriel's been he's been elevated, and in that moment, and Shedeur is very media savvy. Again, we can go talk about rookie quarterbacks in the media. Shedeur's had nothing but cameras and microphones in his face to the maximum level for a couple of years, if not going all the way back to when he was in high school. In that moment, whatever you do, if you do anything, and even a non-answer becomes an answer, it's going to be filtered through the lens of Dylan Gabriel's got this starting spot and now you don't. And so for him to do the pantomiming thing, and then for Adam Schefter to then come out and say, oh, this was about what Rex Ryan criticized him on Sunday Morning Countdown about just be quiet, get in the front row and study. I'm like, okay, so now this is turning into an echo chamber with ESPN, where they're just like, the Shedeur thing, no one, and believe me, we've definitely been a part of it, and I will take my licks on this one, but no organization journalistically, aside from ESPN, has been, they have created this Shedeur thing, the cult of Shedeur, more than I think anybody out there. I mean, it's insane because you have ESPN employees who are saying something on this show, and then these ESPN employees are responding to what the earlier ESPN show said, and then it turns into this and all this stuff, and it turns into this giant ecosystem of ESPN commenting on ESPN and the opinions of ESPN and other people having the opinions of ESPN employees and who said this and that, and is it politics and who's screwing over Shedeur and all these different things. And then Shedeur responds to it. And if he's out there and he's responding to something that Rex Ryan says, and he's pantomiming, right, it takes away now from Dylan Gabriel. All you got to do is just say, hey guys, I'm good. I'm the third quarterback right now, not going to talk. Or, which, we complain about, but again, he can say that. Or he can just say what I think most coaches would want in that situation. Hey, I just want us to win. We're all working together here. I'm here when they need me. I'm working hard. I'm going to continue to work hard. This doesn't change anything for me. And then, the whole Joe Flacco being the number 2 quarterback. I will tell you something from talking to people inside that organization prior to the Dylan Gabriel thing happening. If Shedeur had been named the starting quarterback, Joe Flacco would have been the backup quarterback. And if Dylan Gabriel was going to be named the starting quarterback, Joe Flacco would have been the starting quarterback, or it would have been Pickett, right? Whoever had been the leading starting veteran coming out of camp would have been the backup if one of the young guys got the shot. And it's simply about preparation. They want to have a support quarterback behind him that has as much experience as possible. They don't want to have a rookie backing up a rookie on a game day and then deciding to make of the veteran your third emergency option. And then I also think there is this dynamic in play, and I think the Browns are smart about it, and I don't think they'll ever admit it. But if you put Shedeur behind Dylan Gabriel, and in a live game situation against the Vikings in London, Dylan Gabriel goes out and just plays like dog water in the first half, all you do is build the put Shedeur in for the second half, put Shedeur in because Dylan Gabriel just had to. No one's going to call for Joe Flacco to be reinserted as the starter, right? If you're going to give a rookie quarterback an honest run, the honest run is going to come with Joe Flacco being number 2. Although I will say this, if it was reversed, if Dylan Gabriel was the third quarterback and Shedeur was the starter and Joe Flacco was the number 2, would we be hearing any of this? Would we hear any of this? Would we have any of this conversation about why isn't Dylan Gabriel number 2?
Probably not.
What it was. They're ruining him. They're setting him up for failure. It's politics. How could they do this? No one would say anything. They just go, we're moving on. Cool. Shedeur got the starting job. It's the culty atmosphere around Shedeur is really, it's something else. And I would only thing I could compare it to is what we saw with Tebow. Like with Shedeur, he's being persecuted and blackballed because he's Deion's kid and he's outspoken with Tim Tebow. He's being persecuted because he's religious, and no team wants to deal with bringing him in and having this whole religious platform around him. It's very similar. And I kind of think the cult kind of response to the fans is similar.
Well, Charles, great stuff, man. You were right in your conversation with Rexrode. We appreciate you joining us today, and we'll talk to you next week.
Can't spell Charles without an L.
I'm sure that won't get replayed or talked about at all. And I'm sure I won't get some angry Titans fans who want to tell me what that I'm ass.
I'm tweeting your cell number on the dark web right now.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good weekend.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, our guest. We'll react to what Charles had to say coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Saturday's college football game of the week, Clemson taking on North Carolina. Dabo taking on Bill Belichick at 11 a.m. on Sports Talk 830, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circus Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage also available in the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com.
Hey, Ian, can you play me my little thing from The Toy? By the way, no one at all today has told me they enjoy the movie The Toy. I'm very disappointed.
I would imagine.
I know Big Joe knows the movie The Toy. What's that?
I would imagine most people don't know what it is.
It was a huge.
I haven't seen that one.
A huge major theatrical release in probably like 1982 or something like that. I mean, Jackie Gleason, Richard Pryor.
You're looking for reasons why. That's what I'm telling you.
People, if you like the movie The Toy, let me know. But here, let's play this clip. This is relevant to our discussion.
Heaven forbid you just tell him no, you ass.
That's U.S., not U.S.
Thank you, Jackie
The
Gleason.
quickness in which you thought of this yesterday was pretty impressive. It's like, I got a clip for you guys. Hold on. Let me send it.
Let me say. Now, Cam Ward did not say, you ass. He said, we ass. But I say, if you're a Titan and you remember that organization, you have a problem with that, you ass and you out.
Let me
Leave.
be clear. Let me be clear. I have no problem with what Cam Ward said. Okay. I have no issue.
Hey, don't try
whatsoever.
to play both sides.
I'm not
of this.
playing both sides. I'm saying I have no problem with what he said. All I'm saying is the argument that Charles was making, I think, is backed up by the fact that Jeffrey Simmons felt strongly enough about it where he publicly stated that he had a conversation with Cam Ward about it. That's all I'm saying. I agree with everything Cam Ward said. Jeffrey Simmons' actions and response tell you that Charles's points have some credence there.
I got people on text line who like The Toy. I'm just happy about that. I'm like a little puppy dog. My attention has been, okay, let me go over here. Eric says The Toy was amazing.
Okay.
The Toy was amazing. Eric in
I'll
Buffalo.
put it on the list.
Dennis, who, by the way, also agreed with you and Charles, which I'm mad at Dennis, but he says, I love The Toy. That's right, Master Bates. Oh, boy. There was a Master Bates in the movie. That's a name, Master, and the second word is Bates, okay? My God, that's what I'm just saying. Chris in Nashville, Jackie Gleason, so great. The Toy does bring back childhood memories. I did enjoy it as a kid. The Toy was awesome. The kid's room to a 10-year-old poor kid. Yeah. It's like the super rich kid. He had all these.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Go watch the movie. But the point is, you ass. That's what I say to all.
Is this movie worth my time in the same way that Office Space was?
This probably doesn't hold. I mean, like seriously, I saw this in the theater in like fourth grade. Okay.
Okay.
But I still remember it. Like I thought of you ass.
So is it like a kid's movie?
No, it's a comedy.
Okay.
It's probably PG. It was probably a PG movie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was before they had the PG-13 rating.
Okay.
I don't know that it would hold up.
Okay.
I don't like Office Space. I know is hilarious. I've watched it many times. I will watch it again. This, the Toy. Hey, you know what? I might go check it out again.
All right.
But I mean, Richard Pryor, like pretty much Richard Pryor is a star of a movie, you're probably not, it's not going to suck. Right.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Jackie Gleason. Yeah. So, but to get to the serious part of this, listen, I hear what you're saying. You're right. Like if Jeffrey, I mean, it's like D-May said something the other day and I had issue. I'm like, come on. But these are people who D-May's been in an NFL locker room.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons is in an NFL locker room. And yes, people have made the point today in response to Charles. And most people were ripping him and supporting me. Thank you, text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHigh.com, 615-737-1025. But most people have made the point, or some people made the point, like, what? Oh, so Simmons now is the voice of reason? And I understand that too. But to your point, if he decided that he needed to say something about it, and if Brian Callahan's like, yeah, he's learning the weight of his words, look, it causes a ripple. I still, though, contend, and I definitely feel this, I contend that the ripple is caused by us, because we're having a hell of a time with we ass. I mean, at some point we're going to stop having fun with we ass, but right now we ass
Not
is just
anytime
awesome.
soon. Yeah.
Like we love we ass. Okay. We ass, we in. We love we ass. However, it's hard for me to believe that in that locker room, guys would that's where I make a biggest issue with Charles. Like, you have to listen to the whole quote, and obviously anybody in the organization knows it, everything he said, and knows what he says on a daily basis. It's just hard for me to buy that people in that and anywhere in that team are like, he's pointing the finger at me. I'm trying, Cam. Cam's saying we, not you.
I don't know that I agree with that, but I think Jeffrey Simmons, to Charles's point yesterday, like if you listen to Jeffrey Simmons' answer on it yesterday, one thing he talked about in the answer was like he's got to understand that when you're in front of the microphone, it doesn't matter if you got a full quote beyond it that explains everything about it. People are going to run with that little soundbite. And that was kind of the point that Jeffrey Simmons was making. And again, he kept saying time and time again, I'm not going to divulge the conversation we had, but I doubt very seriously the conversation with Cam Ward was, hey, man, yeah, you're right, man. Good stuff. Way to go. Like, it was probably not that sort of a conversation.
No, but I also think it's like, that's true. But again, this is where I think it's just us who's doing this more than because when it comes down to it, listen, I'll go to my son and when he played high school football. And I swear to you, like, anytime they lost, like, we're ass.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's how young people talk. And it was just a quick throw. It's not like he's like, hey, everybody, be gather around. We, ass. I mean, today, I am the luckiest man. It was just it was 2 words in the middle of the whole thing. And it's not like some totally out of pocket, out of bounds.
No,
phrasing.
Like I said,
It's how young people talk.
Again, I have no problem with it. I think Jeffrey Simmons and what he has said about it kind of shows you that Charles has a point, is all I'm saying.
Fine. You ass.
Although I did love you and Charles getting a little fired up at each other. That was fun.
Oh, hey. If you want people getting fired up at Charles, we got to get Katie Rexrode on the phone sometime for one of his segments. I mean, they go at it every time they hang out with each other. It's awesome.
Send our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Nate to the program. Nate, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Morning, guys. I just wanted to say that, I mean, I can see both sides. Yes, Joe, I'm straddling the fence.
That's fine.
In the locker room and everything, you don't want anything to jeopardize anyone's career. But at the same time, we ask if it's true, which it is, the career is going to be jeopardized anyways. So, I mean, I see where they're coming from, but I mean, you got to play better to not get fired. So,
yeah, there's no doubt.
Guys.
Thank you, Nate. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That's the bottom line of all of it. If you guys keep losing the way that they are, there are going to be a lot of people that don't play here.
Yeah, right. So I get Charles' point. You know, yes, okay, fine. So something like that brings sort of more scrutiny / like ridicule, basically, to an organization with already a bunch of embattled people.
Yeah.
You know, but I also like there's a limitation. Like I hate it when I hate like coaches' families and kids get picked on at school because they're dead. Like I hate that stuff. It is part of the deal though. And it is part of the life, right? And so are, honest comments. Jacob on the YouTube chat says maybe Cam can talk to Big Jeff about not getting into physical interactions with local radio hosts. Jacob said it, not me.
Well, he didn't. It wasn't physical.
Got it.
It was just very loudly verbal.
I love you, Andrew. But I would not have minded you being launched like 10 yards. Like, just one time, he would have been fine. He works out.
Rub some dirt on it. Yeah, all right. We'll continue to react to what Charles Robinson had to say. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. This Sunday, the NFL game of the week, the Cowboys taking on the Jets at noon on Sports Talk 830. NFL game of the week presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. Apparently, a lot of opinions on the Charles Robinson, Joe Rexrode, Cam Ward discussion.
And you could not believe me because you're locked out of the text line, so I'm in control of the text line. But I'm not lying when I say I got a pretty strong groundswell of support here.
That's fine.
But no, I mean, look, I honestly, I don't think you and I are really arguing about this. Actually, what Callahan said, I have, I don't know what Jeff, if he had like an issue, he wouldn't really divulge what they talked about.
Yeah.
But I do think that what Callahan said, like, there's a good point there, which is, yes, you could say all this stuff, and then 2 words can be pulled out and turned into a cottage industry. Yeah, like,
yeah.
So that is like
T-shirts going around.
Yeah, I mean, as a young player, that's fine. That is a good lesson. It's like, yeah, and sometimes things can be taken out of context, of course. But again, we ass is we.
Yes,
I mean, we ass
all encompassing.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's just hard for me to believe that anybody in that building would have more of a problem with that than how they're playing football. Like, how about the football that led to that comment? Let's focus on that. And I haven't read Kaharski's piece yet, but I
we probably need to.
Can we? I know, but can we have a segment with Kaharski yelling at Charles? This is Kaharski's headline in his piece today. Quote, "We ass," end quote. While Cam Ward owns it, softer Titans flinch. Now that's a headline, PK. That's a headline. So I think we know where PK lands on this.
I think we do. Again, to be clear, I have no problem with what Cam Ward said.
Yeah.
I love what Cam Ward said. But I just think that some of the other reactions that we've seen from the Titans kind of prove what Charles was talking about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have a problem with those people.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fine.
And him and Charles.
Charles, got a problem with you.
Charles not in charge today.
Let's head back to the 102.5 The Game phone line. Welcome in Trey to the program. Trey, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, Trey. Good.
Hey, I had to let that little comment he said simmer a little bit. I'm kind of upset about it because basically he's calling the team out for being bad when he's the nucleus of the team, of the organization. He's responsible in moving the ball down the field, putting points on the board, and he's going to act like this is some project ball football team. Oh, who says that? You need to get better on the field. And it starts with him. So he's basically saying he's ass. And y'all have
He did say that. Thank you, Trey. Thank you.
Is there a bigger
He did say that.
Is there a bigger Cam Ward hater than Trey?
No.
I think he's the biggest one.
Biggest Cam Ward hater. And I mean, I think he took it easy on there compared to what I expected. We is part of, we like the ass part of we ass, but we is also part of we ass. And also I've said we ass today on the show 112 times.
Every time Trey calls in,
really taking liberties with
what
this.
Sort of shot is Cam Ward about to take today?
Cam
It's kind of
Ward-
refreshing because I do think some Titans fans have gone too far the other way Cam Ward is unquestionably great. We just got to get something else around him. It's like, well, he has completed 51% of his passes.
Yeah.
But Trey goes the opposite direction.
Yeah, we need a little bit of a middle ground there. Cam Ward is the worst quarterback ever. Why can't he complete a pass? Why is he so terrible? Thank you. Another thing that we've kind of lost sight of, and I think everybody's trolling me, but there were some people in the text line who was like, "What? Well, Jackson Dart's right. There was no real moon landing." I'm assuming those of you who did this are having fun with me. If not, you're an abject moron. Thank you.
You don't think it was a movie set?
I mean, if it was, like, they actually could have made it look more real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did go to the moon, people. Okay. The Earth actually is round also.
When are we going back?
I don't know. We?
I don't want to go.
When we
I'm
asked,
cool here on the Earth.
How about we moon? We moon.
could be closely tied together if you really think about
Sounds
it.
like a kid's book.
Yeah. Let's head back to our 102.5 The Game phone line and welcome in Lance to the program. Lance, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I have a problem with what that last guy said. How can you say that the quarterback should make everybody else better when everybody else better is we ass? Because he can't do anything because he's running for his life or the receivers are running the wrong route. He can't do that great a job without the rest of them. And then in defense of the defense, they can't do any better because they're on the field all the time because the offense is we ass. But let's give the kid a chance and get some people around him that can protect him and let him do what he wants to do because most of the time he's running for his life. Now hang up and listen.
Thank you, Lance. Appreciate it. There's a lot of conversation around those two words this week. I think it's further proving Charles's point.
Yeah. Well, Charles just texted. I was like, all right, proving my point. I'm like, yes. And the text line's also talking about the moon landing being fake. So
measuring cheek size.
What is the kid's book? Good night, moon. Good night, ass. Great way to end the show, Robby.
Well, on that note, that's going to do it for us. Certainly today, maybe forever.
Does Allison have Good Night Moon? That's actually a really good book.
I think that may be the one book she doesn't have.
I'm going to buy it for her.
Thank you.
I'm not going to alter the wording on it.
Just leave it the way it is.
Oh boy.
I pray and hope we'll be back at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, it's up in the air.
Next Man Up with Jake Lyman is coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.